господину Gebran'u Bassилю, министру иностранных дел и по делам иммигрантов Ливанской Республики.
Mr. President, I thank the Russian Federation for convening this meeting. Lebanon considers that the fight against terrorism is an international one, considering that terrorism is an international menace to peace and security. Eradicating terrorism from the MENA region is a prerequisite for stopping its rapid expansion to the world. The fight against terrorism in the MENA region cannot be won without the countries of the region. Lebanon has fully engaged in this fight to drag our country and people away from radicalism and fundamentalism. We have mobilized our troops and our boots are on the ground. We have resorted to our values of openness and tolerance to counter the message of hatred and inhumanity. We have supported actions aiming at defeating the ideological and financial sponsors of these organizations. Lebanon is at the forefront of this battle. Daesh and al-Nusra have been holding hostages since August 2014, 26 members of our armed forces. Our troops have been engaged in daily fights on our eastern borders, and our intelligence services are tracking dormant and active cells inside the country. Our strategy against terrorism is to engage in a fight for the promotion of our values and our message. We are fighting to preserve the existence of our people since the spread of terror, combined with a mass influx of forced displacement, represent an existential threat. We are fighting to protect the rights of minorities. Diversity in the Middle East is at the foundation of the region's identity. It is also a source of inspiration for other countries and nations all over the world. The system of collective security set up in the aftermath of World War II has failed to protect us. Do we need to search for a protection system every 100 years, or do we develop our self-protection system through our scale of values and our ability to live together while preserving our rights and role? Well, we have opted for the second. We are fighting to safeguard our collective values and to demonstrate that obscurantism cannot prevail over humanism. We are fighting because we are convinced that the fall of Lebanon, being the last bastion of diversity in the Middle East, will inevitably lead to the uncontrolled spread of terror into neighboring Europe and further into the rest of the world. We are fighting to reverse the current trend that is leading to emptying the Middle East from its essential social components. We believe that this phenomenon is leading to irreversible changes that will affect all of us. If the Middle East was to sink into perpetual violence between sectarian, closed entities, do you imagine the world living peacefully? What would the world look like if the message of Lebanon was to disappear? We will keep on fighting, but we will not be able to sustain the fight if we are left on our own, or rather betrayed. We will not be able to keep on the pace of our struggle if the international community keeps on with its policy of double standards, especially when it comes to the Arab-Israeli conflict. We will not be able to win if the major policy movers remain short-sighted on the implications of the spread of terror. Mr. President, combating was not our choice. It was imposed on us. We believe in dialogue, and we see in peaceful engagement and in bridge building the best answer to violence. We believe in political dialogue, and we have faith in diplomatic means to resolve conflicts. The examples of the nuclear deal and the Cuban crisis are a confirmation that confrontation is not an option, since it will only lead to the victory of terrorism. We call for political solutions. A forceful approach will not work. A forced solution will not last. an induced political solution will not flourish. Only a solution from within, from the people, will succeed and will put us all at rest. This can only be achieved if we resort to democracy, offering first to the people the freedom to choose their leaders and their regimes, and respecting second the choices they make. The success of the fight against terror needs the conjunction of two legitimacies. One, the moral legitimacy, that of values, we take it for granted, and two, the political legitimacy, that of regimes, and their additional efforts are needed. Mr. President, the clock is ticking and violence is overspilling. Terrorism is overspilling. Refugees are overspilling. This cannot be contained in geography. This is an ideology that we contain and counter through the antidote models like Lebanon. It is the fragile balance between the peoples of the Middle East which is at stake. It is the peace in the world which is threatened. Thank you.